Hello, hello. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of No More Water, Fire Next Time. My intro wouldn't play for some reason, just went black on me. I'm going to have to re-download it. I thank you for tuning in. My name is Larry Duncan Allen. And as you can see, my topic again tonight is about immigration. Many people say, why am I keep talking about immigration? That's a very important topic concerning us now because I really feel that all of this is done to try to coerce black people out to stop protesting so they can start deporting some of us. Or come down on us with those harsh tactics. If they're doing this to if they're doing this to their people, let me cut this down. We have to re-download. Oh, wait a minute, let me. Okay, excuse me there. But look, because we don't need to get involved in that. We've done enough protesting and marching. And when we was doing, see, if they're doing this to white people, you know, tear gassing and shooting white people, a white female reporter in the leg with a rubber bullet on purpose just because she was uh, um, doing the news, what would they have done to one of us? See, we don't need to get involved in that. I'll tell you why. You see, where many people helped in George Floyd and all of that. Yeah, you want to know what happened? You know why people helped us when we were protesting? They came along when it was popular and pretty to do. They weren't there with the dogs and fire hoses. They weren't there then because they many of them was their 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 parents and grandparents was the ones doing it. See, they weren't there. The sit-ins and black people being beaten by the police, even killed. People come up missing. You can't find them. See, they weren't there then. See, it became a project. See, with them coming out, it's like a project to them now. All that dangerous part was over. Anybody can come out and march and carry some signs. Anyone can do that. But you weren't in the trenches with us. What was the Hispanics? They were busy being honorary whites. You see, let me give you the history of the Hispanics here. They were the darling immigrants. You know, when Emmett Till was being killed for whistling at a white woman, you had Lucy and Ricardo, white women making songs about their Latin lover. They voted Republican. They had nothing to do with black people, and they would not vote for black candidates. But what changed? What changed their status here? I tell you what happened. In 2008, there was a man by the name Barack Obama who ran for president. Hispanics fooled them. They helped to elect a black man as president of the United States. They switched on them that one time, and ever since they started talking about, oh, this nation is getting too brown. We have to stop the browning of the United States. That's what this is all about. Stopping the browning of the United States. Keep it a white majority. But you know what? After that happened, you see what happened then? They went back to voting for Trump, but it was for they would vote for Trump, but it was too late. The damage was already done. See, I lived in Los Angeles for many years. I lived among Hispanics. All they did was keep up trouble with us. But not with me, because I told my brother my pistol, told me I'll blow your brains out. You better leave me alone. So I didn't have much more trouble out of them. And and then they they kept there was a let's look at the MS-13. There was the leader was in prison. He told he sent word from prison, get all the black people out of our neighborhood. They went around, they wouldn't challenge the young black man. They find some old man sitting on the park bench and shoot him in the head. So why should we have pity? When have they ever been our allies? Let me show you something. You see any Hispanics sitting there? Where's the Hispanics? I see some whites, and they were mostly white Jews and a few Catholics. Where's the Hispanics? You see the sign Latinos for blacks? See, when we would fight, they see people would join us and help us fight for police brutality and all. But where was all these people when we were fighting for our rights, our very existence in this nation? They weren't there. But now they want to come in and get on the pretty part. Oh, we're fighting for police reform and all that. And if you notice, they're trying to get black people out there. They want to deport us. They can't deport us. They don't know what to do with us. So they want us to start committing crimes and doing other things so that they can have a reason to say, why do you think they opened Sudan? That's for black people. They don't really have to want to send Hispanics to Sudan. They're getting that ready for black people. Alcatraz, they're getting that ready for the unruly white people. And I know what I'm talking about. See, when I say this stuff, I research this stuff. I just don't talk. I've been a debater for a long time. I don't talk what I don't know. And if I'm saying something that I'm just thinking about or speculating, I'll let you know. If I don't see I'm speculating, I'm not speculating. I'm talking what I know, or I have experienced, or have seen through repetitive behavior. So you can have facts that come from repetitive behavior also, not just from what you read. So now, why should we get involved in that? And we're not, for the most part. I hope many black people don't start, because many people are calling out saying, where are the blacks? Where was you when we needed you? When we were fighting for our survival, you weren't there. You just came in on the pretty stuff, and then you was ruining that. Did you notice? See, during Michael Brown and Ferguson, none of the protesters were violent. Black people don't do that. We've been trained not to be nonviolent, which I'm not. That's why I don't protest. I goes and cover it as media, because I'm not nonviolent. Because when I'm putting something back on you that you didn't put on me and mine, that's not violence. Violence is what you did when you did it for no reason. That's violence. But look, the protesters didn't leave the line and go loot and cause trouble. Those were other people doing that. And a matter of fact, in Ferguson, the police wouldn't go and stop the looters. You know how it stopped? Protesters started leaving the line. And they went and stopped the looters, because protesters hate when people come with looting and starting trouble, because it takes away from their cause. At least black protesters do. It takes away from the cause. But what happened was, after Ferguson, black people didn't do our normal day or two marching. I had to get me an air purifier. I found out I was sneezing too because of the air quality here. So it's getting better. So but what happened is they black folks protested for about 3-4 months straight, every night. and it did no good. It was like it was all for nothing. Black people really haven't protested much since. We're thinking of different strategies. Excuse me. But see, during George Floyd and every protest after that, if you notice, there were very few black people even participating. But if you notice, when others came and started participating, that's when the protests started getting violent because other people are not peaceful protesters. Only black people do that. That's only meant for black people. These other people are not peaceful protesters. So what happened was, that's why you got the George Floyd reform bill, because they wanted to please the white people, get them off the streets. It was others also, but mostly white. And what happened was, that's why they started the woke agenda. Who would tell somebody don't be woke, be sleep? If they want you to sleep, that's something they don't want you to know or see. They did that because white people was siding with black people, many of them. And they had to stop that. That's why they eliminated any type of black studies. Anything got to have to do with black people, they're eliminating. Not from us, but from them. They don't want their people to learn about black people and know that black people are not the lazy, shiftless people they called us to be. That they are. Maybe I should have waited till tomorrow. This air quality is poor in here. I got my air purifier. It's getting better. But look, so they had to change that. They taking studies, all studies about black people away. But we know it, and those who want to learn it will learn it. I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. For some reason, my commercials or anything are not playing. I'm going to have to re-download them to get them to play. I should have checked this out before I came on. I normally do, but I wasn't really planning on doing anything tonight because I just bought that air purifier. It's making the air quality in here better. And but it still got me sniffing a little bit. I don't have a cold. I never catch this cold. That's why I was wondering what was going on. But look, I'm keep talking about immigration because I don't want black people to get out here and get our head busted and sent out of the country over someone else's cause. We're chilling, and everyone's upset about it. Matter of fact, they don't know what to do. They thought all this stuff would bring us out, but it didn't. Now I was watching this one black conservative, and they really talk foolish, most of them, because it's hard to be a black conservative without turning on your people, because conservatism in this nation means being being part of a racist system. Let's say that. You got something against black people, especially. That what conservatism is here. You can say I go try to get around it how you want to. What black conservative actually speak up for black people? They actually speak against us. He was talking about immigration. He was talking okay. He talked about how he talked sort of like I'm talking tonight. But then he brought the politics in it and said, see, the Democrats, they allow these people in here and and don't want to get them out. But see, that's foolish. He's talking like a fool, and I'll tell you why. The president don't set immigration laws. Congress does. A Democratic or Republican president has to follow the same immigration laws. Thing is, the Republicans let them in also. They just don't say anything about it. Because you know why? They came in just as many under Trump first term. But you know what usually happens? In the 21st century, since the year 2000, Democratic presidents has deported many times more people than Republican presidents. You wouldn't think so listening to them. They love to talk about immigration, making it a political tool, but they don't really do anything about it. But they got you thinking they're doing something about it. Check the stats for yourself. See, anything I say, you can look it up for yourself. What happens is, in this time under Trump's first presidency and to now, Biden deported many more people than Trump has. This thing he's doing with ICE, that's just for show. They're not really deporting that many people. And when they do, they bring the cameras there and show off with it. It's just a political tool for them. They're distracting you from other things. Okay. Obama. How many did he deport? Obama has deported more people in modern times than any other president. Matter of fact, he was known as deporter-in-chief. And you all know it, don't you? Obama was called deporter-in-chief. Matter of fact, one of Obama's aunts, his father's sister, was deported while Obama was president. Now you think Trump would have allowed his aunt to be deported? No. And nothing would have been said. But had Obama stopped his aunt from being deported, they'd be ready to impeach him. He barely knew his aunt anyway, though. But Vice President Biden wouldn't have went nowhere. See, the Democrats are too weak with flexing their muscles. See, we didn't even know the president had the kind of power that Trump's showing. We didn't even know the president had that much power. The U.S. president has as much authority as a dictator. We just never had one to exercise it before. And Trump is exercising it. The courts can't stop him. No one can stop him. Except maybe the military. Because if he ordered those Marines to fire on American citizens, we're going to have a big problem there. Some men disobey the order. I hope they do. Because I was a Marine, no way am I going to fire on American citizens. They are trained killers. They're not meant to be on the streets of the United States. The last time they killed all those students at Kent State, which, by the way, were white students. They don't care what color you are. They kill students at Kent State. That's why they don't like the Marines coming and being deployed within the states. Now back to the immigrants. You see, when they took Mexico, the United States took Mexico, they actually took almost all of Mexico. But what happened was, I think Coolidge was the president, Calvin Coolidge. They took Mexico all the way down to Mexico City. But what happened was, President Coolidge said, if we take all of this land, we're going to have to make these people citizens. So, excuse me. So they kept New Mexico, Southern California. They already had the northern part of California. Took Southern California and Arizona because there wasn't many people there at the time. It was almost uninhabited. So they kept it, and they gave the rest up so that many, because too many Mexicans would have had to become citizens. So there's been a history of this nation wanting to be a white nation. But they messed up when they brought us here. Now they don't know what to do with us. and they see this thing that Trump doing and deporting people to foreign lands, he could deport those Mexicans. I can't just say Mexicans, but Hispanics back to their home country. But that was a prelude to him wanting to deport black people to any parts of Africa. We don't know our nationality, so they don't know which country to deport us to. To any country who would take us, they're gonna want to deport us there if we get out there clowning like these folks do. Well, I won't say clowning, but we get out there burning up police cars and protesting like these folks are doing. That's what they have in mind. So we need to be careful with that. They want us out of here and they want to deport us. They give me, like I said, give each one of us $1 million. You won't have to send us to no prison. I'll get up out of here. Yours reparations anyway, that'll be the reparations. You don't have to go to Africa. You can go to any country. Most will welcome you with $1 million. But look, don't let them fool you into getting out there doing that now. If you want to go do it anyway, go ahead. I can't stop you. I'm just suggesting. I can't tell you what to do. But so far we haven't answered that call. And I hope you keep up that way. But if you go out there and you protest and you get deported, I'm not crying for you, and I'm not going to try to see about where you at and get you back. Should have kept your black butt from out there. Let them people fight their own battles. They never fought ours. Look at what happened when Brittany Griner was held over there in Russia, all the mean, nasty stuff that was being said by people. Look at the policemen who have killed black people, or people who have unjustly killed black people. George Zimmerman. Where that name come from? Chavez. They have Italian names, they have Hispanic surnames, and immigrant surnames. Where's Zimmerman from? Ukraine or something like that? So that's why I say, let these people fight their own battle. Why we always gotta be the moral country? Where we need to help people that's in need. Screw that. Let them help themselves. That's what they tell us. They say that do you realize that most of the technology this country has didn't come from white people? It came from immigrants. They came here to go to colleges and they stayed here. Now China's recruiting them. They're getting the ones that are United States and sending them away. Sending the people, if you can't go to college in the United States, come here. Trump is actually ruining this nation as far as technology. Who stops their own technology? That don't even make sense. And another thing, why would they let a private company take over what NASA used to do? The U.S. military satellites. Going to the space station, you got a private company doing it. One man is controlling all of that. It's foolish. I can't see how these people became in power with the lame brain they got. Have you heard Elon Musk talk? He can barely form a coherent sentence. You can barely understand what he's saying. He can't get out what he's trying to say. It's been even documented that when white women or black people run a company, the company is more prosperous. You know why? Others have to earn their way. It's not given to them. It's not handed to them like it is to white males. And now they're even mistreating white women. But see, white women help mistreat us. So I don't have no pity for you either. You was benefiting from segregation and black people being mistreated, and see, you enjoyed all of that also. I don't have no pity for you losing those DEI jobs. See, white women had 78% of the DEI job and got most of it from affirmative action. But you didn't say, no, let's not do that. Let's share it with the black people. We don't need to be getting this much. See, no one has really been in our corner. Like I said, they came for the police. Police reform, shooting somebody in the street. Anybody can come for that. But what was there when we was fighting for our survival? No one was there but us. Jews helped in the civil rights movement. But I'm talking about people in numbers. There was no one there in numbers. Jews and the Catholic Church, they helped some. Because the Catholic Church even tried to end segregated schools. But when they did it. In fact, but then the offering plate started drying up. So they resegregated the Catholic school. So yeah, let's mind our own business. Because I also see on social media about the tornado that was ripped through North St. Louis, and the people making fun of black people because they were hit by a natural disaster. And I see the Perez's and all the Hispanic surnames mocking black people. At this time, you got a lot of nerve mocking anybody. You may be looking over your shoulder after that unmarked van and them masks coming after you. You gonna sit up and laugh at somebody? Oh, I was mentioning Brittany Griner. Remember when she was in prison? Oh, yeah, I saw how people mocked her. Anything that's black get mocked when they're having a hard time or going through some type of turmoil. We put out all the praying hands and praying for people and consoling them, yet they mock us. Oh, they're still putting up mean things about the people in North St. Louis. You say, well, why did you read it? Yeah, it's my job to read stuff like that because of what I do. That's the only reason I really deal with social media. I have to know things. I have to know what's going on. And besides, even if it wasn't for that, I read what I want to. Don't nobody tell me what to read. Look at what I want to. But look, they so we're everyone's friend. Who's been our friend? Yeah, we're not even each other's friends. We don't even like each other that much. We like these other people better, to be honest with you. We treat them better. They come in our stores, we treat them better. Do you know that during segregation, their business was segregated, but ours weren't. They can come and do whatever they wanted to in ours. Black people have their nightclubs. The black people, then they're having a good time. Some white people couldn't decide to come and join in the black nightclub. They was doing segregation. They should have told them to get out. Go back to your own club. You know what would happen? They make the black people on the front row get up and let the white people have the seats. Go get the good china for the white people to drink and eat out of. How sick can you be? You should have told those people, look, we can't come in yours, you can't come in ours. Why are we so scared of them? They have to do something physically to us before we respond. Like in Alabama at the docks, it has to be physical. That's the only way we respond. And it's not because most black people still like them. You just don't like what they did. Once you get over what they did, you go back to loving them again. What is it about them that they can go into Africa and make them people give them all this stuff? And Africa just now waking up, realizing we've been giving these people our stuff. They take our stuff and sell it back to us at a higher price, give us a little aid, which we wouldn't need that aid if we keep our own stuff. manufacture ourselves, we find our own stuff. They're finally waking up. Duh! After all this time, you let them come in and take us. Never came looking for us. I remember a joke Eddie Griffin said, one thing about white people, you take some of their people, you take just one. They coming to get them. So they'll tell the president, it's just one person. He said, I don't care, go get them. They're coming to get them. Look how many black people they took. He said you didn't see one N-word with a spear on the coast of North Carolina in a canoe looking for us. Shaka Zulu didn't come this way looking for us. What is it about this man that everybody bowed down to them? No matter what he does, look for him to reform one day. I don't need him to reform. Just leave us alone. You want us, go and pay us. Give us $1 million apiece. Get us out your hair. I'd gladly go. But I'm not going with nothing. We had our stakes here. You want us to go and pay us to go. You made us come here and make us leave with some money. Or send him my GoFundMe for leaving. Give me over $1 million in that, I'll leave. Gladly. But I'm not leaving here with nothing. You always say go back to Africa. I'll go. Why you just tell me go? You go back to Europe. And the thing about it is, I'll go, but I'm not going broke. I tell them put your money where your mouth is. Give me the money if you want me to go. They shut up then. Because I tell you, these immigrants, they're trying to get black people to come in, get involved in their mess. They've asked it. Where are the blacks? Where are the black people at? Mind our own business. Oh, you're going to get a few go out there. And when you get in trouble, no need of you crying and hollering, telling where Ben Crump at and all that. You were told, stay out of that mess. They're dropping now. Because I'm gonna tell you why we need to stay out of it. Now, you say you don't want to be deported back to your home country. But tell me this: why are you standing out there waving that country's flag? The country you say you don't want to go back to. You waving that nation's flag around. I'm telling you, don't be a part of that mess they're doing. I'm gonna tell you another thing: black people are the only people in this nation that has not been around here with a foreign flag. We have like a Juneteenth flag, but those are symbolic flags. They're not of a nation. They're of a cause. Just as the Jews, they have the Star of David, but that's the Israeli flag, so they included in that. Black people, the white people with the Confederate flag, I know. See, when I say this, don't come on to my all don't do it. I'm talking about you as a people, what you've been doing. I'm not sorting through you. Don't know, because black people, don't nobody sort through us. You have been with, you come all in black areas with Confederate flag, but most black people never really paid it much attention until lately. Because we just thought you were some idiots. We used to see with those when I was a little boy. A lot of us didn't even know where it was from. When we learned, we just thought you were some idiots. So we weren't doing nothing impressive. The Confederate flag, the Confederate nation fought against the United States of America, killed hundreds of thousands of people, lost the war. Now, what other nation would allow someone they defeated to still fly their flag over their territory? So why is the American flag still, not the American flag, but the Confederate flag still being flown here, still being allowed. It should be abolished. And let me tell you what happened with they always talking about black people in the flag, about kneeling for the flag. I go to a lot of black events, I record them. And at all the events I go to, I've never seen one black person take a knee or kneel at the playing of the national anthem. But I've seen some white people do it. But they make you think that black people just doing that all over. I've seen white people do it, but I haven't seen any black people. What they're doing now, see, white people has been fed a lot of propaganda. They don't know that they don't know real history. They don't know how they've been left in the dark. They don't know about all the black inventors because they never took time to try to learn, because they would believe in what they want to believe. See, we're not a people who has to make someone else look bad or look down on someone else to feel good about ourselves. We feel good about ourselves anyway because of all been said and done about us. You see, I hope that purify here and clear these hair up. See, what has happened is these other people, they'll come drive all through nice, beautiful, working class black areas with just the majority of black areas. All the beautiful homes, well kept lawns. You see the black people with the nice cars and living well. And then they'll drive and they'll get into the inner city where the more lower class or poor class black people live. And you know what they're going to go back and talk about? The inner city, where they saw the dilapidated homes. They forgot about, there are more black people living in outlying areas in beautiful homes than there is even in the city. You go over in St. Louis City, there are areas in the city that are beautiful, virtually crime free. And it's like that in all the major cities. But what happens is crime are in pockets, not all over town. And according to the FBI report, I think it may have been changed, but about 4 or 5 years ago, it said that 90% of the crime, of serious crime among black people, are caused by less than 2% of the people who are repeated offenders, by the same less than 2% between the ages of 14 and 22. All black people don't commit crime. Because you know why? At 22, they get jobs, or they'll get killed or go to jail, one of the two, one of the three. They learn better. But other people, and if you notice, black people, working black people making an honest living, rarely commit crime. Serious crimes, that is. And but other people can be working, middle class, upper class, working class, middle class, upper middle class, even quite wealthy, yet still committing those crimes. When black people have reached those levels, we don't commit those crimes. You don't see a lot of working class black people out here committing crimes. And I'll tell you another reason why it seems like black people commit more crimes. Black people live in like 26 large urban areas in this country, except for a few southern states. Black people live in congested areas around large metropolitans, which are in the network areas, where you hear more about news that crimes that black people commit, and it's the way that we commit crimes. Black people commit crimes more on obvious, street level, with weapons that get more attention. But see, social media news is bringing more attention to white people's crime. They see it on social media, but they'll talk about the crime. But when they see it with black people, they'll talk about the person's race. They see white people fighting on social media. They talk about the fight. They see black people fighting on social media. They talk about the race of the person. But you see, many of those fights you see on social media, they're not real anyway. They're the stage or AI. A lot of them are not even made in this country, and they're geared towards white people to keep that division up. But they don't need to do that. It's going to be the white people who have division with us. Most, not just white people, most people are going to be divided against black people, no matter what. They don't need no outside stimulation. We're on our own. Always have been. But look, if you notice on those fights, how do you punch somebody 25, 30 times in the face? No swelling, no blood, or nothing. Look at those people on those fight videos. How many of them you ever seen with a black eye? Teeth knocked out, nose busted, blood. You notice you don't see that. Most of that stuff is staged or it's AI. But people suck it up. And you notice then the algorithm is towards white people. That's why you see so many of them on the page trolling us. Well, I can't say white people because it's Hispanics, all of them. They troll black people, talk against us. And what they do is they have to make those comments to feel good about themselves. They're supposed to be pro-police. They're only pro-police when it's the police against black people. I see white people curse the police out, call them all kind of names. And you know what you read the comments, you know what they do? They side in with the person. But with the black person, oh, he should have complied. Yay, hey, hooray to our boys in blue and girls in blue. But you're only pro-blue when it's blue against black. But when it's blue against whites and others, especially whites, you're not pro-blue then. Oh, Trump, he's pro-police, so pro-law and order, except for January 6th. Then he let those people out. Now he's almost giving the Marines and the National Guards the authority to start shooting people. And that's not going to go very well for him. Because you shoot enough people. These are not black people you messing with. They getting some guns and they coming back. It's going to be a civil war. See, you used to black people being peaceful. You're not messing with black people right now. You're messing with Hispanics and white people. And they're not going to be peaceful. You start shooting at them, see what happens. It's really going to be a war. Black folks, stay out of that. Unless they try to come up in our neighborhoods, be ready for that. But if they come up in our neighborhoods, y'all know what to do. We're not bothering nobody. And let's not let them bother us. We have to protect ourselves too, but let's protect ourselves in our neighborhoods, not because we going out that door and something. Let's not get involved in that stuff. It's getting better in here. My air quality. I had noticed I didn't start coughing until I came in here. The air quality was bad. I had the place cleaned out and fumigated, and I have an air purifier. It's getting better because when I leave out of here, I'm not coughing or anything. Not congested. And see, I usually don't get congested and coughing, so I'm not really used to this. Yeah. So yeah, if someone come up in our neighborhood and start something, we got to deal with that. with masks and unmarked vans. No, we can't let that happen. Because we don't know who those people are. See, we have a history of white people abducting black people and coming in black neighborhoods, killing people. So we can't allow no unmarked vans with people with masks on coming in our neighborhoods. We need to deal with that and not let them get away with that. But see, for one thing, we got to learn to get physical too when it's time to get physical. You see how they did down in Birmingham? See, because it appears that black people, especially black men and women, don't work together unless there's a physical threat. Because every time we talk about black people, I have the black men, we talk about black people. But then when the women start talking, they separate and start talking about black women. Now, if things get physical, if you want to defend yourselves, go ahead, go knock yourselves out. If you're going to be with us, be with us. But if you don't want to be, defend yourself. Don't come talking about we the least protected. Whose burden are you under? What man's burden are you under? No one's going around here just you go out. You say you're not protected because you go out here start fights. When getting all these fights and all, talking about why come somebody don't break it up? Those two women fighting. It's not like a man fighting them. You don't break up two men when they're fighting. You decide you want to get out there and duke it out. Go ahead and duke it out. That's if it's a real fight. Now, all those fights are not faked. Some of y'all just don't know how to punch or fight. So you gotta learn how to punch. Cause I can't see myself hitting somebody 30 times and they coming back for more. I know how to punch and fight. If I punch you, I'm putting you to sleep. As little as I am, I'm still putting you to sleep. As old as I am, I'm still putting you to sleep. But I try not to get off into nothing like that because I don't do much fighting no more. At least not hand fighting. If you get what I mean. But look, we have to defend ourselves. We got to take care of ourselves and take care of our families against any type of hostilities that may come to us. And that's why we see now where we need families. Because right now we just got people having babies and everything all split up. Now, many of those people we call single, they got a man there with those children, you know. All these women, because they're not married, not living alone. Neither are the men. Whoever you're with, you have to protect your household. We got some, like Martin Luther King said, we got some difficult days ahead. Very difficult days ahead. And when our turn come where we may have a physical threat, when they come to start threatening us, do you think some immigrants and Hispanics are going to be there? When the immigrants came from Ukraine, they specifically said, "Don't send us around black people. We don't want your bombed out self around us anyway. What makes you think we wanted you to come? Not come and messing with our stuff. We just got enough for ourselves. We didn't want you old bombed out people around us anyway. We don't want to be around black people. We don't want you around. Go around to your kind. Go around to them. Stay away from us." Go back to Ukraine. Oh, I forgot. You can't do that. Your house got blowed up. Too much. Ah, no, it's not. No, it's not. They still raining bombs down on your country And you still gonna come over here with us with that attitude like we wanted you to come around us? And when the black people, the Africans, tried to use, when the war first started there, we ain't forgot this. I haven't forgotten it. When the black people wanted to leave Ukraine, they kept pushing them back and let the white people out first. Now, any other time they want the black people gone, but they saved the black people for last, for getting out of harm's way. And you think we want you around us? Go up to Bevo Mill or wherever y'all people went to. Stay away from us. People getting bombed out. Got the nerve to be arrogant with us. Then tore your whole town, your whole country up. Just tore up your whole nation. And then you have the nerve to come over here and be arrogant with us? We need to look out for ourselves. Immigrants are not our friends. They don't like us. I'm going to put my Cash App and my PayPal up in case anyone want to send to the program and keep this program going and sustain itself. I like for each program to be able to sustain itself. You don't have to take from one to give to another. But look, I just wanted to do this podcast tonight to let black people know that we don't need to put ourselves in harm's way, getting involved in other people's mess, because they wouldn't do this for us. Not fighting for survival. They'll help us about a crooked cop. But when we was fighting for our survival, we weren't getting that help. We didn't get that help. When we was fighting for our rights, we didn't get that help. We got help when it came popular to do it. That's when we got help. But we do have some white comrades, some allies. If they try to start doing things to black people, there will be some white people who rise up. But don't count on those immigrants. They got their own problems. They're busy dodging ICE. But there will be some white people who help us. Maybe even some Asians. Very few, but maybe some. Maybe even some Jews. Jews did help out in the civil rights movement. I have to give them that. And when they had stores in our neighborhoods, they gave people credit, but no one else would give us credit. And they lived in the neighborhood. Do you know the meaning of the word ghetto? Notice how they call black neighborhoods ghetto? The meaning of the word ghetto is a Jewish or Hebrew neighborhood. That's what they're calling us. I didn't make it up. But look, again, I have to reiterate, we need to stay out of other people's fight because they're doing it so sloppy. They played right in to Trump's hands. This is what he wanted them to do. Now he's having his shamble of a parade this weekend, and he wanna the people come out there and protest like he wants the people to be shot. Don't go out there, black folk. Don't go out there. Do not go out there. There was one protest that I saw. There were. This was about a while back. a few weeks ago, there was a handful of black people at this protest. I think this was in Philadelphia, if I'm not mistaken. And you could count the black people on maybe both hands and have a few fingers left over. But when it came to arrest people, who do you think got arrested? The black people. I don't feel sorry for you. Why'd you go out there? Many people on social media been telling you to go. Many people say we gotta pick up the fight. Let's pick up the fight when it's our fight. I tell you why. Like I said, we don't need to be out there protesting and with someone carrying a Guatemalan flag or a Honduras flag or a Mexican flag. You say you want to become a Mexican citizen, but you're flying those flags. We don't operate that sloppy. Y'all know we don't operate that sloppy. I'm gonna kind of call it a night tonight because I gotta get this air purifier to start working in here. I had place cleaning out and air purifier put up because I only start sniffing and sneezing when I come in here. So it should be okay by the next time I do my next podcast. I'm gonna try to do as many as I can because our people need some help. We need a lot of help. We need the word to get out to tell our people to stay out of this mess. I don't want to see our people get deported. You know the real job is the real motive. You know the real motive is not to send some Hispanics to Africa. You know who they really got in mind to send there. Us. This is just a run. They're just doing a run right now. They're getting their feet wet to see how the people respond. Well, just protest alone is not going to get it. And I'm afraid this nation is going to come into armed conflict. Civil war right here in this nation. Looks, I'm not wishing anything. I'm just saying from my observation that this nation is in trouble. The word is not well respected anymore. Matter of fact, it's a laughing stock. They're laughing at the United States. They're now calling the United States a third world nation because we're doing the things that third world nations do. But I'm not going to hold you long tonight. I just came on to tell you that let's be careful about joining in these immigration protests because we're not immigrants. Not in the sense that they're saying. We're natural citizens of this nation because of the way we were brought here. We didn't sneak in. Yeah, you should follow the laws about immigration, but they came in under the law that permitted them to, most of them. So be very careful about what you allow yourself to get involved in. Because there's not going to be anyone to save us like we try to save everyone else. So I want to thank you for tuning in. Hit my Cash App or PayPal if you can. I think I'm going to get out here early tonight because I'm not going to hold you, not early, but I'm not going to hold you as long because I want to let this room clear out before I do another podcast or do it in another area. But thank you for tuning in to No More Water. Fire next time. And take all this down. And I'll see you next time.